Alright, just want to go over you real quick the things you need to do to make sure that you don't damage the threads and that you ensure that it doesn't leak on you when you're using it. So, like in my video, I pointed out that the threads on this pipe are tapered. On this end, they're slightly skinnier widthwise this way than they are on this end. So as you run the cap on, it will get snugger and snugger because the threads are getting wider and wider. Same thing on the fittings. If you buy the same ones that I bought, they are pipe thread, and that means that they are tapered. So this end is slightly skinnier than the opposing end of it. So what you want to do first is take your Teflon tape and go around in the same direction that the cap is going to be going on. So in this case, in this one, oops, sorry. In this case, it's going to be going this way. So you want to run a couple times around. I've got carbon in this one. That's the carbon falling out. Go around a couple times till it looks like that. You don't want to go around too many times. I would say 3 rotations. And again, I went around this way, which on this would be clockwise around. Same way the cap's going on. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. So then take the cap, run it on by hand, and as you start getting about halfway, you'll notice that it starts getting tighter and tighter and tighter. What you want to do is get it to where it's pretty snug by hand, and get a hold of it and give it one good half a turn or so. And now that won't leak. Now if you take this off, you might get 1 or 2 uses out of the Teflon, but after that you just need to replace it. So if for some reason you're changing your carbon out over and over again, which I've had this carbon in here for ever, probably. I've probably used it 20 times and it's still doing its job. And then the same thing on this little guy. So if you look at it from this angle, that angle right there, you want to go around it this way because that's the way it's going to be going into the cap. And you want to just take and go 2 to 3 rotations around it with the Teflon, and then just start it by hand. And you should be able to do this by hand. If it doesn't go in by hand, you're not going in the right way. Not that you should have that problem, but you could. And then if it stops, I hope this camera will focus, this is my cell phone. If it stops like that by hand with a Teflon on it, and you see a couple threads sticking out, that's okay. You want to get a crescent wrench. This is a crescent wrench. Okay, it's an adjustable wrench. If you don't use something, or just a regular wrench that matches the size of the fitting, you know, don't use like channel locks or something like that, because you'll just put imprints on the plastic. And then once you get it to where it was snug, rotate it gently till you feel it really starting to grab good, and then just go a little bit past. And that's it. And then that sucker will be leak proof. And obviously same thing on the other side. Now the way I tap these, you should be able to go all the way butting up, even with the Teflon on there. There's going to be a little bit of variance on every single one of these because they're done by hand and I'm not a machine. So, you know, you might have one that touches perfectly, you might have one that's backed out just a little bit. Don't let your OCD kick in, because if you're like me, it will. And then you just have to, you know, realize that it's just slightly different. Biggest thing is don't over tighten them. You know, obviously if you over tighten, you run the risk of stripping out the threads, and then that's pretty much toast, and you got to just chunk it in the trash. Chances of you stripping out the threads here, pretty unlikely. This, still not, you know, I don't think you could do it, but I'm just warning you that that would be the one place that you could, is on the fitting to the cap. Other than that, you know, just pack it full of carbon. Make sure your electrostatic filter media is in there so the carbon doesn't come out, and that's what's stopping it from coming out now. And it picks up any small particulate that comes off the carbon. Other than that, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, just let me know. Be happy to answer them for you. And if for some reason you have trouble getting the tubing, you know, that right there, let me know and I'll take care of it for you. But you should be able to find it at any irrigation store, Home Depot, Lowe's, things like that. So again, hope you enjoy them, and I was happy to help you on this one. Take care. Enjoy.